Social media content creation really is the best thing since sliced bread. Not only is it incredibly liberating, incredibly expressive for the latent creativity in us all, but also it breaks us free from the paradigms and systems of traditional employment that we were all been locked in since times past, since time immemorial. Like, comment, subscribe. My name is Somer Del Piso. Today I'm going to talk about why social media and content creation is incredibly important and why all of us should get into it to have some degree of perhaps financial autonomy, an expression of creativity, and an understanding about the psyche of the humanity, right, in general. Let's get right into it now, right? I believe that social media has been incredibly liberating. Of course, a lot of the views, if not all the views that I'm going to be talking about in this video is a reflection of my personal journey in content creation on social media. Let's talk about financial autonomy for one, why social media is great. And to get into social media, it's great for financial autonomy. Since we've had the advent of a lot of these systems, right? These programs, Facebook, StoneX, which is not around really, or not used as much, MySpace, Twitter, a lot of people that tend to have views or say things in a very, very entertaining way or express themselves in a very, very idiosyncratic way that a lot of people agree with, they were able to become financially independent. They were able to clinch sponsorships, sort of like athletes, right? This is incredibly powerful stuff because by getting into social media, there is a potential, there is a chance that you might be able to mirror the same success as the few. It is possible, but definitely social media and content creation has created a lot more financially independent people than ever before. I also say this as well, that it's important to be financially independent because you can break free from the traditional lines of employment. Let me give you an example. Like me, Somer Del Piso, I graduated from college a century ago, right? I'm 33, I graduated from college in 2014, right? Since 2014, I've been looking for jobs. I've been trying to get into internships. I've been trying to work for various industries to try to better my life. I was told that the American dream was to have a white picket fence, a family, a wife, work an office job that you don't necessarily have to like, but it provides for your well-being, your sustenance. I followed this rite of passage to the very end, and I've gotten nothing for it. I've not gotten rewarded at all. I've been rejected from so many office jobs. I signed up for so many companies. I sent out myriads upon myriads, an excessive amount of resumes and applications, and I've been rejected, even though I have a lot of certifications and degrees, right? Needless to say, what you need to glean from this, along the tall and short, is that it doesn't matter how many certifications you have, it doesn't matter how many degrees you have. If the person on the other side does not like you, you are not going to get accepted. You will not have your little apartment. You will not have your house. You will not have your family. You will just be on the other side looking in until you choose to assimilate into the many. Until you become legion, right? You become part of the legion. Because social media and content creation is so liberating, right? Financially, it also teaches you a lot about yourself. It teaches you a lot about the nature of human beings. Not only you could become financially autonomous, you can say whatever the hell you want on social media. You can say that this group of people suck, or this person that wears this type of jacket sucks, or this sneaker is the best thing since sliced bread, right? Anything, you could say whatever you want. And if there's a group of people that agree with you and they decide to stick with you in your journey of trying to sort of decipher and analyze and take apart the world at large, then you will find financial success. And not only that, you will have found financial success by being yourself and expressing your way. This is probably the most powerful reason why you need to get into content creation and social media. We're inundated by various news sources. We have the Independent, Jezebel, Huffington Post, Times, Sunday Times, the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, The Economist, so on and so forth. We have all these various news sources that some of them are independent, some of them are publicly owned, but a lot of those news sources are independent due to this advent and democratization of content creation. Anyone can go out and get the next news story and then post it on the internet. And if they get a large following from that, they get a large following from that, and they can continue, so on and so forth. Once upon a time in the past, we left getting all of our news information and data from a select few. There was only like a few news sources. Of course, what is it? There's Con Nast, for one, Rupert Murdoch, and his group of very, very capitalist, horrible, evil family, right? That chooses to control news. They can say whatever they want. And we had no choice but to listen to them because there wasn't a democratization of news. So that is another very, very powerful reason why content creation is incredibly beneficial. We could have a diversity of news sources, a variety of opinions and views on an event. That could lend to a lot of misinformation, which that is a huge problem nowadays. That could lend also to obfuscation of news, of information, right? Of objective information and events, right? That also could lead to manipulation of opinion, which has been, that's arguably led to a lot of what the political landscape here, right? Or just not just the city, New York, but just in the world in general. My personal view on this, I think that this content creation, this democratization of news sources is incredibly powerful. It's very, very good, despite all of the aforementioned reasons and dangers of the obfuscation of information. If we live in a certain environment, if we live in a certain ecosystem, we are not able generally to see things from a multi-angular way. It is good that we have other people that live in various places or are able to get information in various ways in order to deliver us different points of view on a topic. I think that's incredibly powerful, and that's something that we should not be taking for granted whatsoever. So I went over the financial autonomy, right? I also went over the lack of the concealing of information, of important information, and the separation of the streamlining of opinion on a topic, a controversial topic. Why else is content creation incredibly important is the creation part. You can be creative. A lot of souls in this world are very, very uniform. They're not unique, not even in the slightest. And a lot of them tend to go to work, do their responsibility, and then go home, and then they repeat the cycle perpetually until the very end. Content creation, anyone with a goddamn cell phone and a modicum of creative talent could lift themselves to the heights of Alexander the Great if they so desired, and if they put in the time. This is the power of content creation. Me, I'll tell you for my personal example, because Sombra del Piso, I started this channel a year ago. Right now, not only I have nearly 4,000 subscribers, which of course in the grand scheme of things, comparing with a lot of other bigger YouTubers, it's nothing. But it's very, very impressive to me because it also showed me that people wanted to hear my opinion. They wanted to see my point of view, and perhaps they enjoy my personality to some degree. And I need to tell you guys this: you have no idea of your personal strengths. The scholastic systems have failed us nowadays. They tell us that we have to go to school to learn X, Y, and Z. We have to go to college in order to be successful at life. We have to do this in order to get a job and do this, so on and so forth, and be successful in life generally and find fulfillment. And I'm saying that's a whole bunch of Cods Walla. Like I said, my personal story, I studied in school. I have my high school diploma. I even went to England after I graduated from school, and I got my A-levels. I got my A-level literature, A-level science, mathematics, and something else. I forget the other one. But I have my A-levels too. Then I also came back here. I studied business administration. I got an associate's in business administration. Then I went on to get my bachelor's in business administration. I studied some postgraduate classes. I went and got a certificate in IT. It was some CompTIA A+. I could get some more certificates, but I went to a boot camp class just to be able to gain the skills to get that certificate. Needless to say, I've done all of these things that they tell you to do in order to be successful in this place. And of course, due to the aforementioned thing that I told you, no matter how many certifications, no matter how many degrees you have, if they don't like you, you're never getting in. You're never going to be financially successful. You're never going to have a social life, of course, that's lauded as the height and the crux of success in this modern world. I did all that. I was rejected from everything. Due to me starting this channel, I'm not saying I'm financially independent by any degree, but I am certainly getting there. And it doesn't seem like a far off idea as it used to before I even considered content creation. Content creation creates independent islands on its own. You guys, if you feel like you have a similar story like me, like you've studied for a long period of time, you've done a lot, you've gotten a lot of certifications, you've networked a lot, you've tried to follow the traditional ways of having success and gaining success in this world, and you've been rejected at every turn, please consider content creation. I promise you, you must have a personality. And even if you don't have necessarily a boisterous, loud, rambunctious, chaotic, nonsensical personality like me, you have your own idiosyncrasies that people would gravitate to. People in general, humanity. And now we're going to go into the other thing that I was trying to talk about, or the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is content creation teaches you a lot about the psyche of humanity. You see, humanity, they are very unique. I do not believe in this NPC theory, right? A lot of people are conditioned with similar behaviors. Absolutely. A lot of them have the same spending habits, the same proclivities towards certain types of people, certain types of women that they are attracted to, certain types of foods that they like, certain drinks, so on and so forth, depending on, you know, the cultures, the respective cultures of the world. Absolutely. I am saying that, of course, people are conditioned in a very, very similar way, ultimately. But a lot of people have opinion. A lot of people harbor a lot of sentiments towards a lot of different topics in life, a lot of different politics, a lot of different events. But the thing is, due to a lot of restraints or constraints sort of imposed by them by their respective lines of work, or perhaps the friend groups that they would like to remain in, otherwise they get kicked out and they'll feel lonely, and then they start considering, you know, very, very horrible, terrible things to do to themselves. People harbor these sentiments. People harbor these thoughts, but they just can't say these things. So as content creators, right, because we are all unique souls, we're all unique individuals that are multicultural. We probably come from Puerto Rico, we probably come from Nepal, we probably come from New Zealand. If you start to get into content creation from your various backgrounds, your various cultures, you can unknowingly, unwillingly become a voice for a group of individuals that feel constrained and locked down by the vicissitudes of fate and the things in this world. Content creation is incredibly, incredibly beneficial to all parties involved, the people that are consuming it, to the people that are providing that content. I need to tell you this, of course, everything in moderation. We do have a situation where people are addicted to social media. That's not necessarily due to a fault of their own, but a lot of these social media companies like Facebook, I believe that they were the ones behind the creation of the endless news feed, where you just could keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling forever, which of course lends to a higher usage of social medias. I think Twitter, all the other social media applications and mediums started to use and implement this algorithm, this formula of the bottomless news feed. I do understand that social media has a very, very addictive quality to it, right? Because it shows the most appealing aspects of every part of the world, life experience, the human experience. I understand that, but moderation is key. One needs to understand how to use social media to their own benefit. Look at social media for various news sources. If you want to learn about a certain type of clothing or a certain type of exercise, anything like that. People just need to learn how to moderate their social media usage. But let's get back to the topic at hand for the video. Get into content creation for the aforementioned reasons that I have said. Financial autonomy is incredibly important. For me, I'm telling you, I'm an individual. If you look at the rest of the videos on my channel, I have very, very strong views, especially regarding men's mental health and how to achieve wellness and a serenity and a calmness of mind, right? I talk a lot about that, and I make a lot of inferences and references, to religion, to metaphysics, so on and so forth. I do understand that I could work for a company one day, and if they see my social media, they will be more likely to reject me or evict me from the premises. I understand that completely. So using this as some sort of financial independence is incredibly helpful as well. Not to take away from the true reason why I started social media is because of you could express your points of view. Of course, you can get criticized, as with the expression of any point of view, whether it be online or in person, but you could express it, and then you will have people that could give you feedback. You can say whatever you want. And that's what I appreciate about social media, that we need to not take for granted. We can say whatever the hell we want. We can say anything in this place. Seriously.